News.mc on Monaco Info is brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties. Our exclusive interview with the personalities driving the Principality.
My name is Aleco Keusseoglou. I arrived in Monaco in 1972 from Italy. I was 12 years old. I've been living in Monaco since 1972. I've been going away for studies. I studied in the States, then lived 10 years in New York, 10 years in Athens, and then came back here in Monaco in 2000. I had the privilege and the honor of being asked by Prince Rainier to become the president of the Société d'Exploitation des Ports de Monaco, SEPM, in 2004. In 2001, Prince Rainier asked me to become a government-appointed board member at the SBM. And I created my own asset management company in 2006. I also am a fanatic water skier, privilege and the honor of becoming Monegasque in 2008. So in 2008 I created the Monaco Water Ski Federation. Since then we've been trying to cope with all these elements in my life in Monaco. The two key moments of the life of the port are the Grand Prix and the yacht show, obviously. Very, very important events for Monaco, and we have to empty the port for the Grand Prix and for the yacht show. There's about 120, 150 boats that come out and 120, 150 that come in. So it's a big event. It is a huge challenge because for many reasons. Number one is the show itself, the Monaco. Let's talk first about the Monaco Yacht Show. It's a show that has expanded tremendously, developed tremendously. So there are many more boats attending the show, but also the boats have become bigger and bigger and larger, and unfortunately our boundaries in the ports are limited, so we have very limited space. So it's a big challenge to be able to accommodate the wishes of the organizer and at the same time being able to have all the security measures in place so that nothing can happen. For the small boats, boats up until 18 meters, we have very long waiting lists. Somebody can, of course, apply and go on the waiting list, but it's going to take at least 2 or 3 years before we can liberate a spot. For the bigger yachts over 35 meters, we have about 45 berths between Monaco and Fontvieille for yachts over 35 meters. On these 45 berths, we juggle every year 160 to 180 yachts. And 95% of these yachts are owned by residents. I'm not talking about yachts that are coming from the outside to come for 2-3 days in Monaco. So it's a very, very difficult task. We have to try to accommodate everybody, so we cannot give annual contracts to the bigger boats. We only give monthly contracts and we try to rotate them as much as we can. This is the main reason why we bought the port of Ventimiglia in Italy, because although it's a smaller port, it has another 40 berths for yachts over 35 meters. So it almost doubles our capacity in that range, which is very important for us. We bought the company that had started building the port and that owned the concession. And it was the very interesting fact was the concession was, because now almost 8 years have passed, was 80 years long, which is extremely long for any European standards. To give you an example, in France, typically the concessions are 35 years, no more. So 8 years was extremely interesting. We bought when the port was barely had started being built, so we were able to modify it to exactly what we need. And now it's, after 2-3 years, it's becoming a great success. So we're very, very happy. We tried to participate in a tender for Beaulieu 4 or 5 years ago, before COVID, which we retreated because what they were asking us, what the Métropole was asking as guidelines, cahier des charges, was unfeasible. We also tried in Sanremo. We decided to pull out of Sanremo. One of the main reasons is that our main focus now is to win the tender for the port of Cap d'Aille, which is going to be Done. The guidelines will come out second semester of 2025, and the decision will be taken in 2026 after the new elections. And Cap d'Aille is strategically important for Monaco, so we're really putting all our resources behind to try to come up with the best possible project. Once we will know what the guidelines are, we really want to do the maximum effort to be able to win. I can give you a couple of numbers. I can't give you all the numbers, but let's say the turnover at the time was a little bit less than 8 million. Today we're touching 30 millions of turnover. One number that I can give you, which is an interesting number, is that in all these years, since 2006, so 18 years, we have been able to give back to the state over 250 million in terms of redevance and VAT and dividends, which means that the big floating jetty and the jetty in front of the yacht club have been paid for now in 18 years, which is not bad. Obviously, we are in a privileged situation because in our case, the port already existed. So we didn't have to construct it and we don't have the amortization of all the construction costs. But still, it's important to be able to give back to the state as much as we can. The future is, in my opinion, we have reached the limit of the boundaries of what we can do in Monaco. Unfortunately, we've looked at possibilities of enlarging the ports, either in Fontvieille or in Pont Hercule. I can't say it's not technically feasible, but it's not economically feasible because the depths are very, very high. Just a few meters after the floating pier, you already have 80 meters depth to the sea. So it's very difficult to, and it would be extremely costly to try to construct anything there. If we have, by 2027, if we manage to have Ventimiglia, the two ports in Monaco, and Cap d'Aille, we already have a very important position in the Mediterranean. I think the future is to go and export our know-how and export, what the ports of Monaco can do. We already did it in Greece. There is a big complex southeast of Athens called the Astir Palace Peninsula, which has 2 5-star hotels run by Four Seasons. And there was a marina, which was a small marina, but the oldest and most prestigious marina in Greece. The owners of the complex have decided to, and got the permits to enlarge the marina. So we have a contract with them where we help them design the plans for the new marina and also write all the procedures on how to run the marina. And we go there twice a year to audit them and make sure that the procedures are followed. They are going to construct a yacht club there, which will be under the high patronage of the Yacht Club of Monaco. So it will be a mini copy of the Yacht Club of Monaco. One of our main goals, following the lines that are dictated by the Prince in terms of environment. The ports of Monaco today are already in a very good state in the sense that, first of all, we are able to give electricity to all the yachts that come into the ports, even the super yachts. We have invested a lot of money to equip the floating pier so that super yachts of 150, 160 meters can be plugged in if they come during the winter. From the electricity point of view, we are in a very good state. We're in a very good process of achieving the works, also to retrieve everything that's black water and gray waters directly from the yachts so that they don't have to, a barge doesn't have to come there and take it from the yachts. The big challenge today is going to be able to electrify the floating pier to allow cruise ships to come in and be plugged in and not have to run on generators. It's a big challenge because it would have been impossible 5-6 years ago because very few cruise ships were equipped to be plugged in. Today, the technology has advanced. The space that is required in the cruise ship to put the whole machinery to be able to be plugged in is much smaller, and also the costs have gone down. Now it's a question of logistics between us and the cruise lines in general to see what type of equipment we could install that can be used by everybody. And so I think it's a decision that we will take very soon. It's an inevitable decision. I think everybody will have to go. A lot of ports have already started doing it. And I think Monaco, because of the guidelines of the policy for environment dictated by our prince, will have to follow. Of course, the Greek origins are there, and in the port and in my family. So I'm very proud to be able to do that. A little anecdote is that I remember in the 70s, Prince Rainier was already thinking about how to attract cruise ships in Monaco. And my family had a cruise line company at the time, and I remember one lunch with my father and Prince Rainier. Prince Rainier asked my father, what should we do to be able to attract cruise ships in Monaco? And obviously my father said, well, the first thing you have to do, Monseigneur, is to have a jetty, have a pier where cruise ships can come. And from that moment, the reflection went into Prince Rainier's, and he had this incredible idea of doing the floating pier, which people think that the floating pier was done only to attract cruise ships, which is wrong. The floating pier was really done first to protect the port from the easterly winds. During the winter, because of the easterly winds, the port was not safe, so nobody could stay in the port for the winter. So the first job of the pier was to protect the port from the easterly winds. And that's why Prince Rainier, in his vision, he understood that it could be a great development for the Monegasque economy if the port was run in a little more, I don't want to say professional, because the people that run it before us did also a very good job, but in a more dynamic way and in a more commercial way. And then as a collateral effect, let's say, we were able to have also cruise ships come into Monaco. If you look at pictures of the port in the early 1900, 1920 and all that, you can see already super yachts in the port of Monaco. So you have beautiful old yachts that were already staying here. But again, they were not staying for the winter because it was not safe. I still water ski. Yes, I water ski in what's called the veteran circuit, so the old guys. But I still water ski, and I still participate in the World Championships and the European Championships for my category of age, of course. We have a club in Monaco. We have a federation. And we have a lake, which is an hour away from Monaco, in Roquebrune-sur-Argence, which is near Fréjus. It's a lake which was built for water skiing, so it's a professional lake. We have a whole team of coaches, and we're equipped with the boats, equipment for everybody. So I encourage everybody to come and see it. My son is a great competitor. When he was under 21, he was amongst the 10 best in Europe. Ranked in the 10 best in Europe. Now he's gone into the open category, but he's a very good skier. And after he graduates from his masters, he will probably take a year off to concentrate himself just on skiing. And fortunately, my wife skis also, and she's very passionate. So I'm very fortunate to have that. My two girls also ski. They're not as passionate as we are, but they do ski. Since age 4 or 5, all my free time was spent on ships, on cruise ships. We also had a boat when we were living in Italy, and when I was little, I was living 6 months a year on the boat. So I practically grew up on boats and ships, so it just grew on me.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching News.mc, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Discover more interviews and stories on our websites, news.mc and monacoinfo.com. This show was brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties.